hello hello ကြာရပြီကဲကျွန်တော်နေတော့ mic ပိတ်ပြီးစကားပြောနေရပါတော့ကြည့်နေတယ်ပါတယ်ခါဆောင်ပါ okay wait sit fine mic yeah shh. Wait what is it okay ကိုယ်နည်းနည်းတီးလိုက်အောင်ပွဲရှိမှာဆိုတော့တည်အောင်တီးလဲရတယ်
na sa sarili ko na
okay
siya yung coach na kailangan at ano, parang maiintindihan kung paano ako. Ako yung para sa akin, yung
Lala.
champion, yung sa mga tao, hindi ko sila masyado iniisip eh. Parang kung
Lala.
may mapatunayan man ako sa tao, okay na yun. Pero mas gusto ko may mapatunayan sa sarili ko. And sa team namin. Okay na yun. Pero mas gusto ko may mapatunayan sa sarili ko. And sa team namin.
okay ပွဲတက်ကြည့်လိုက်အောင် secret lab guys ကောင်းဆုံး gaming ချက်တွေထုတ်တယ်
A little bit worried here about Ezekiel, the ghost of Jakarta, because looking at that, so you're looking at how King Kong plays, I feel like a lot of aggression is going to mid. How will he answer that?
Well, I think they go for maybe some long distance here, right? We've seen Aaron Shiki pick up the Poke Granger. Maybe they lock in something insane like the Navaria, something long range, something like the Xavier we saw very early on. I don't know if that's how you want to start off in game one, but maybe it's exactly how you start off in game one.
A little closer to the chest, like a Farsa.
Farsa
has been getting good results.
Oh, Trax is onto something here, folks. Novaria gets banned out. So again, like, we know these teams. It's been 24 days that M6 has been going through. We know that Onyx will attack that mid. Because if you look at their two bans already for Ezekiel, they're really challenging the Ghost of Jakarta. What else do you got?
Yeah, the mid lane Maestros trying to get some finesse. With the
Arian Pelayo.
ability for the side of FNOP, I do agree with the Farza pickup. I think it could be wise.
တို့ရဲ့ဒီ design creative ဖြစ်တယ်ပါကျွန်တော်က
On your side, we also got to take a look at FNOP.
တိုက်စီလင်းလေးကတော်တော်တန့်တယ်
Own position. There goes the blue, so maybe the Hylos, maybe the Gatot sneaks up in here. We know it's a great way to create some chaos and to be able to get to the back line, and there goes the Hylos.
Does Fnatic Onyx pick up a specialty for Kirk? Do they get the Edith or do they deny away the Gatot?
Or what
That's
about
that's a lot of jumps. Or the Khalid for Brusco? That's a lot of mobility between the diversions and the sandwalks.
Let me just say, if we do have a Khalid roam here, if I'm TLID, I'm not feeling good.
I'm not feeling good at picking Farza anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of like a preemptive strike. If
Alright,
you pick up the
Pimble,
lead here, it's a preemptive. You're not going to pick a stable main.
Oh,
Better be
he
one
did.
that can move around. So they take in Edith. Still one more pick. Rome
If it,
XP still, essentially. Most likely this is the Kirk special, though.
I know Kirk, man.
I like the Khalid here. Not gonna lie. Something aggressive going up against the Cho as well. They're taking the time
That's
here. It looks like they pick up the Gata Kacha instead. Jumping to the back lines. They have multiple angles. Divergent here, but then suddenly Avatar the Guardian coming from somewhere else. Multiple angles by Fnatic Onyx Philippines here.
And now it comes down
Yep.
to what Yehezkiel plays. Yehezkiel, Wiseman, what you got. It's got to be something range, right? You don't want to dive in.
But the Gato Kacha is there as well. Even if you pick up a Farsa, you're going to get caught.
Yeah, I don't think you go for anything like the Valentina. You're just so close. It is tough, no matter what, you're in a tough spot. So maybe it's a what are you comfortable with pick here. Maybe it's a what are you okay with here.
I mean, it could even be the Aurora, right? I mean, you have a lot of frontline heroes who can get the crowd control effect in your aspect, especially when you have a Cho and you have the Hylos. They're good at diving, but that overall group setup potential might not be there.
Need a stopper. Oh, he's played this
Oh,
once.
I told you.
And it comes out.
Lilia 100% win rate တဲ့
Lilia the last pick.
မနေ့လည်းပွဲကိုမကြည့်လိုက်အောင်ကွာတိုင်အောင်ဖတ်တည့်ရပါ
If you want to take risk, if you want to take chances, it's definitely for game number 1. Thank you very much to the panel.
Okay.
Oxiana Arena, get ready.
Let's go here.
Because we're jumping to game number 1.
on fan လောက်อ่ะဒီချိန်ဝင်ခုရှိတယ် on fan မှာလောက်လိုက်
16 and now we're down to
Marco?
2, and third time is the charm here. The third time these two teams, these two champions from their respective regions will meet up to find out who will be the world champion here. What is up, guys? I'm Naisu, joined on the desk with Gideon and Mirko. Gentlemen, how are we feeling about the first draft?
I'm feeling like the first draft is interesting. Punish your front lines, be able to diversify, go into the back lines as well. Cool places to attack each comp.
Hey, man,
they
go in for the dive. They want to play their game.
Right.
Right? FNOP want to go aggressive. TLID want to go aggressive. It's a brawl.
It's going to be a brawl out here again, a best of 7, and we're starting it up with game number 1.
သူကနိုင်ကိုလေး
Oxiana is ready for this bout, and both these teams have fought through the gauntlet to lead up to this. Already in the mid lane, a lot of early action expected with what we've seen so far.
why are you doing
here? But we got to talk about the fact that the meta has really set in, especially throughout the knockouts and where we've landed now. But this Lilia pick from Yehezkiel, mind you, one of the players that brings out the most unique heroes.
King Kong. So you had a little gone here, like made our
brought up the Xavier. We were expecting something like that too. Oh, Witty with the flicker out.
Okay.
But yeah, this pick isn't really something we see too much of
Oh,
Yehezkiel
really?
in Indonesia season 14. Though, however, when his name was still
Hylos
Sin,
နဲ့
we saw a lot
Indonesian
of Yehezkiel Lilia. Absolutely.
ဒီကနည်းနည်းတောင်းဟိုက်လောက်ပဲတောင်းနေတွေ့တယ်လား
Pressure to your opponents, right?
ဟိုအော်တွက်လိုက်
Hitting
Eh.
those attacks and making sure that you are
ရထတဲ့ကောရ
keeping them in
ဒါပေမဲ့ either level 4ကကျော် battery မှာ stand up shooter ကောင်းတယ်ဟိုက်လောက်လည်း stand ပါတာပဲလို့ပြောမှဆို
Yin Yang reaction is great, but it also has the conditions of making sure you
Ranger
have
နဲ့ Bruno နဲ့
for an example. And you can even see, right, from the
Ranger တောင်းမလားလို့
he wants to live in these fights to continue with
oh my god
Flicker out from Yehezkiel.
What Shadow Key
Not ready just yet. There you go. King Kong.
wait ah yeah King Kong
Transfer
ဆိုရ
over
ဖြစ်
to
တာ
King Kong. Both teams surviving no casualties as of the
I
first
know
minute.
Well,
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing though, you know, Yehezkiel doesn't go down, had to burn the flicker, so that is going to
True.
be down. Also the revitalize from Brusco. But both teams still obviously looking for that first potential first
Oh my
blood.
God.
Really on this side of the map here.
nice right
It's Kirk. We're just gonna walk up. Aran doing the same thing. Both of the tanks here, frontliners. It just seems like, you know, it's kind of a similar game that Brusco wants to play compared to Aran. It's all about screening, waiting, and I would
Let's
say
go.
distracting the back line.
I mean, as long as the back line is confused with
on it
go,
ပဲ
Team Liquid ID, we know for
on it 9တော့ on it ပဲလို့ပြောအောင်
their opponents, but only on the right conditions. And hopefully, it's based on where Super
on it 9တော့ on it ပဲလို့ပြော
showing himself.
And that's a part of this again at level 4 from
Alright.
not available.
sorry
just
ပုံ
yet.
နဲ့တခြားပြန်
So
ကြည့်ရ
we're
အောင်
going to be able to go and go for that pick-off potential. Same thing on the other side, you know, it's Fnatic Onyx PH that wants to take their time as they approach
ပြ
the
ဿနာအားလည်းရှိသေးတယ်
Don't want to overextend. Brusco has been fantastic throughout the tournament, making plays himself, you know, setting things up like
Good
with the
friends.
Khalid that we saw earlier on. Here's the taunt.
Ooh,
Witty's in trouble.
Cho.
Kundo, Witty,
Oh, Windy.
Wave the dragon. Over to
Oh,
Brusco.
yeah.
That's Peyton.
Shadow
Get up,
Key
get
လား
up,
ကောင်း
get up,
လိုက်တာ
Brusco, hey, yo,
oh yeah
able to
စပါဖြစ်သွား
Still
တယ်
alive, and now they keep on going for it. Aaron Shiki's hitting back against Super
Gone
Red.
like-
The front lines are starting to crumble.
Revitalize. Witty jumping
Baby,
up
yeah.
to Kundo. Nakabrusco.
Katili.
Taken down by Kirk with that primal wrath.
and they'll make it happen. First blood still going though.
Oh,
ကတိကြီးနဲ့
oh,
Brusco
he's alive,
စပိုက်
right?
ဖြစ်တယ်ရဲ့
Oh,
ဟဲ့
they all
ကောင်း
good.
လိုက်တာ
All right. First blood goes through as expected. We weren't hoping for this game to be extremely bloody. It's
And
still a marathon. It's
pressure တော့ပေး
already
နိုင်တယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒီမှာထင်းနေခွင့်နေတယ်
We'll be trying to zone them away. Queller
ဒါပေမဲ့
comes in from King
ဆိုဆိုရဝင်ပြီး repeat ပေါက်ရဖို့လွယ်တယ်
with the onward
အဆင်ပြေ
dash.
oh my god အဲ့ရခေးရသွားပြီ
Two kills for the neutral objective. Fabian
အဲ့တော့
He's fine. Oh, whoa,
Shut okay.
comes back, Kirk.
ပြုံးပါလား okay
They're not
ပြီးတယ်
done with it
ဟော
yet.
ရ
They want to keep on trading as much as they can. They cannot let this gold go too far off their leads.
You see already the back and forth, the pendulum is already swinging. this
Colorado
way in the
level 5
game, and that's what you want
But
to
we
do.
don't wanna
You
share loot
like
on it.
You want to go in for those pickoffs. You utilize the fact that you're so mobile on this Hayabusa. from
Fabian,
Fabian.
Hunter strike.
He does pick up a Hunter strike already too. Black shoes already used.
ဘန်ဂျာမြစ်တိတက်လာဘာလို့လဲ
That's a lot of damage, man. Diversion. Don't know if they
Oh,
spot
I
it.
love you.
Wants it. Oh, no one takes it. Just a bit of vision, utility here and there for FNOP.
Great call. But so far, you can tell
Yeah, right,
they're
doing it.
trying to determine
Who are
where
we
the
die?
lines are, right? Respect the
Asclaw
borders.
တွေ့တက်ကောင်းတယ်နော် critical လည်းပါတယ်ခုနောက်ပိုင်း Asclaw
And only very small
ရတော့တွေ့တက်ကြကြမဟုတ်တော့ critical ပါတော့ Bruno Mustang နဲ့ rely လုပ်လို့ကောင်းတယ်
Things could start snowballing out of control because even Kirk has a lead on Iran.
He has a lead right now. Still kind of checking out the area here too. Locking in the buffs before this next objective does come up. But so far, so good. Even for Fnatic Onic, PH, Kirk could be in trouble. Pops the Primal Wrath, might get run down.
No flicker. Fabian with the quad shadow, able to connect
Okay.
up to Kirk. He is all isolated. He will not use the resources here. It will just be a kill. A good pickoff for the cavalry.
And Fnatic on a
Right, yeah.
not found the trade on the opposite
Oh.
side. Close, but
Oh my God.
still no cigar this time. Would he able to cover on air on Shiki?
Oh my
Knowing
God.
the motions coming in for Fnatic
Good
on it.
friends.
That first rotation looks good.
King on ဝင်လာမယ်နော် alright ဒီနေ့ HP 20% တော့ထိတာ Oh Brusco ပြန်ပြီးထုတယ် revenge အာအဲ့ဒီမိတ်သုံးပတ်လိုက်ရ
In that skirmish, meanwhile, the usurper Fabian.
ဟိုအပေါ်ထဲမှာရှိုးလိုက်
Picking up a turret.
ဟိုတယ်ရောက်ရအဲ့ဒါဆို
Diversion as well. King Kong charging up the surge. Won't be able to find it. Fabian should be able to escape freely.
okay see
Gets out freely, gets a turret. Fabian doing work right now. He's everywhere on the Hayabusa. And that's what Fnatic Onic PH has to watch out for. Head on a swivel, but again, they have the Luo Yi. We saw Super Prince play this hero to a T throughout this tournament. And for the M6 in general, it's been such a crucial pick for a lot of teams in their compositions and how they approach the macro level of the game. Now that this turtle is up, though, second one for the taking, TLID has a very minor lead. And they'll try to get control of this too. Again, even if they plant Yehezkiel up front as a mage, it's fine. He can always black shoes out and just try to bait out some of the resources from Fnatic. And that's why they're so careful on the approach. Oh, bottom side.
Oh, Kara might
Kara.
actually. Oh man, Fabian already used a
Good
shadow
thinking
kill
it.
earlier, so no kill. Diversion, Aran. Stopping the bush. Aaron Chiki able to dash away from the Earth Shatter. Now it's Winnie coming down. King Kong
Go on,
securing the turtle.
He finds it. They managed to walk away. If they disengage now, it's going to be a plus for Fnatic Onic PH here. But the Usurper will not let this stand. He's looking for another turret. That's two already
Well, go on,
secured.
At this point, this guy, he's a jungler, but he's also a turret destroyer, right? He's pushed down 2 tier 1s. But look at this side of the jungle. We're going to be focusing here. Witty should be able to get out, takes the Queller, but he's fine. But they do take a buff, and so they are going to try to find something around the map, and that's what Fnatic Onic will always do when they get the information on the moves coming out from TLID. So next focus for them, again, both teams already having one turtle, but the next time this comes up, the Lord is for the taking here. And that's where we really have to start to look. Are the items in place for them to fight out? Witty.
Great dash away.
Windy oh
No,
cái tí này
Winnie.
nice Fabian còn shadow kill
Shadow kill from Fabian. Keller's
Oh,
taken
con này
down
nè.
by Fabian.
Brusco.
Vitalize already popped down, and Super Prince is going to get zoned out. Brusco should be gone
Cái
for
tí
it.
này.
Yehezkiel bails out with the black shoes.
Oh, they still want to fight?
shadow kill shadow
It's a
kill
Fabian. Kirk going in as well.
Oh.
Primal Rat to take him
con này
down.
đó
But Shiki bursted by the yin-yang reaction of Super Prince.
That's a great collapse, a clap back from Fnatic Onic PH. This has been a battle of inches so far. We haven't seen
Rodan
any
is
real
here.
momentum, but at least this time round, Fnatic Onic PH fight on their terms after the initial aggression from TLID.
And that's what they had to have happen at this point. Again, waiting for that first lord to come up. That also allowed now Kelra has the Malefic gun on the Bruno alongside the Haas Claw. So he's got the 2 items. And over on the other side, Aaron Shiki still building up into the second item. But they also grabbed themselves that tier 1 turret now on the top side. So playing into this in 20 seconds when that Lord comes up, Fnatic might decide to go ahead and approach this in a different way. Remember, every single time they can utilize Super Prince with the Luo Yi, show up at an off angle, and surprise TLID.
All right, so we're seeing a different approach to
Ooh,
the
con này
Ranger
đã.
here in the grand finals. Aaron Shiki going for the safer approach. Usually we see Skypiercer item 2
Okay,
diversion.
nice.
Fabian's gotta be
Đây
careful
sẽ tôi
here.
này. Fabian.
Actually, no,
Shut
the
up,
taunt.
Chaka.
Oh no, Fabian gets away from the taunt, gets out of the worldy. Or just the last shot, actually. Not even worldy committed by Kelra.
Fabian lo tôi ăn được rồi này nè.
Position on it, right? With Fabian so low, I don't think he can contest for this. Let's see how TLID is going to handle as they drop the Glorious Pathway.
Glorious pathway down as
Oh,
well.
King Kong.
Versus
Review
down.
champ rồi.
Jumping in with his
Chọc
Udel
cái này,
Echo.
bắt được cái này.
And then continue forward. Aaron Cheeky holding his ground. They're looking for a fight. But Fabian fights
Oh,
one. Kelra
con này đó.
takes
Fabian.
out another. And now without any purifies, Kelra
Oh,
walks
oh.
forward, finds
Kelra.
it, Kirk takes it,
GG.
Aaron Cheeky is down, and that is going to be a full wipeout here for Fnatic Onyx PH.
The gold standard! Kelra making his mark on the world stage in the grand finals.
Kelra con này
A
được rồi.
wipeout, and now he's just balling down these turrets.
He saw Fabian take the turrets. He's taken the team and the mid turret tier 2. Taking a look at the instant replay brought to us by Kadia. This setup was so good, and it looked like Team Liquid had an idea on how they could win this team fight. But the biggest problem, look at the positioning for Kelra. Untouched, just able to move and groove and slide around and pick up the kills and clean things up.
I think that TLID, even though they had an idea in terms of execution, could not find it just yet, right?
Nah, I know it.
Oh, man, Kelra! This is a burst! Aaron Shiki to become AOG. Aaron Shiki to be falling to Brusco. Diversion to the back.
And Brusco, he doesn't mind with Kirk and Super Prince already holding on. Yehezkill making sure those minions are down. They can't get out of this just yet.
Kelra is unstoppable, and it's going for more as
Oh,
well.
double
Kelra gets
clean.
a double.
Into the slide, he went the toss up, the slide, it's all on point.
Talking about chemistry, the Super family well connected there, making sure that the onward and the slide tackle are perfectly in combination, and they get to walk out for free despite being in the base with Holy Shields.
And this is why it's just so infuriating. It's so annoying to go up against Fnatic Onyx Philippines. For the few 6 minutes we saw, we were like, all right, they were matching King Kong, they were matching Kirk. But then Kelra shows up.
Oof. It's a tough game. It's a really, really tough game here. Based on the items, you can see the respect coming out from both sides, all right? Aaron Cheeky currently at 2 items with Hunter Strike and the BOD. He's not going for Skypiercer this time around, but even Fabian, right? He's not going for Skypiercer either. He wants instant power. He hasn't gotten the War Axe just yet, but decided to finish the Malefic Roar first.
There it is, locking that in. And this is the difficult part of it, because if we have to look at and break this down, Team Liquid ID, they just had a landslide gold deficit now. You can see it, right? They're feeling pretty good. The lightning emotes are out, the charge is up. But for Team Liquid ID, they kind of relying on Witty. But the problem is, he prioritized Magic Resist. But the Kelra's the problem right now. A couple shots alone brings Witty down, even Aran on the Hylos. So now this is where they go ahead and continue to put the pressure, take the buffs, take whatever they want. And it's up to Team Liquid ID and Witty and Aran to figure out how do we deal with this.
I mean, right now, the next item, Power Spike, that we can see, Winds of Nature, already purchased by Kelra. He doesn't mind to go for those 1v1s, either against Fabian or even from Aaron Shiki. But at this point, I think that TLID will have to just sacrifice another inhibitor. This next fight is going to make it or break it for them.
And Yehezkill just can't get close. The fact of the matter is, Kelra already has the Malefic gun, so he's going to be outranging the glooms coming down from Yehezkill. And if he needs to dish out a bit more damage to get the kill, he's going to have to sacrifice the black shoes, maybe even the flicker. And I don't know, man. I don't see Lilia as an execute hero.
I mean, Lilia is supposed to be designed against Brusco, maybe even Kirk, sometimes even King Kong if he's already dashed into the middle of the fight, right? He needs Aaron Shiki to kind of slow them down so he can make sure he hits every single one of his abilities. But for now, Fnatic Onyx, they understand that they've got better team fighting overall based on the number of fights that they've had around the river.
And Aran will go ahead and give the information that Fnatic Onyx PH will go ahead and start up with the Lord here. They're pretty scattered across the map, so they might just be making the call, you know what, give up the Lord, give it to them, and get ready for a base defense because they got a lot of catching up to do. They're down 8,000 gold. The good thing is they hold on to the base turrets earlier on, but now that this Lord is getting ready to siege in, and what we've seen so far from the team fighting capabilities of this lineup from Fnatic Onyx PH, Team Liquid ID is going to have to pull some type of a miracle already. Diversion, just trying to spot things out. Aran is there alongside Fabian. Wants to go ahead and grab his purple buff before this fight, before this defense that they need to pull off. But they're just shoved off of it again. So they have no choice but to go ahead and get prepped and ready for that Lord crashing down on the bottom side, managing the waves. The flares will go out, giving them the information at this point. And so now, Fnatic Onyx PH, are they going to press the situation, dive into the base, over the walls as the Lord charges in?
Wouldn't be too bad of an idea if they do so, right? As long as Kelra has the space, he can do whatever he wants to, and even sidestepping the Death Sonata shots just to make sure TLID gives him respect.
Look at that, Milfic gun. That's what it gets you. You can hit the turret from so far away. It's a mortar. Slowly but surely just catapulting his way into the base turret. 2 base turrets gone just like that. They're blitzing the base of Liquid.
Are they going to go for a third here?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's the Dragon. Over to Kurt. Kurt can be caught. Aaron Cheeky unable
Ah,
to
ไม่เอา
shut
ไปเรียก
down.
รู้มาใส่นะไม่เอา
Demolished. Obliterated in front.
And with, that's tough. Arana's gone. Diversion.
Oh my god, almost a
กระตีนี่แหละ
and deal is quelled. And Brusco goes in for the AOG. 2 members down.
Literally vaporized at this point, and now going for the endgame scenario. They just don't have the items to hold on!
Kelra's just focused. FNOP claim game 1 in a dominant fashion.
Dominant game number 1. 7-1.
And it's not so easy for you to spot where the diversion's coming from. We've seen, well, half a dozen diversions spotted by the random ice blast by an Aurora. So yeah, I agree. Let's see if Liquid ID will go that route.
It's also tough to pick up a Pharsa on this first pick side because FNOP can always bring in one more counter pick if they want. A lot of answers. I'm still wondering, are we sold on the fact that this Khalid is Roam right here? Or do we maybe see something else picked up for TLID?
I think Rome is the right decision, but you could possibly pull out the Gatot here as well. And I mean, it would still kind of be the same situation. I feel like for Fnatic though, I feel like the same rule applies to them. They could change this up entirely. You have the Lu Yi, you have the crowd control. You technically could go in for a Mathilda here because you have Fredrin with the setup, the energy eruption, and you also have a lot of crowd control from the Lu Yi.
One thing to note, a Mathilda, this is what MPL Indonesia has picked up. For you to fight against a Mathilda, you pick up that Khalid. So this Khalid is also showing to Fnatic Onyx Philippines that we know that a Mathilda is in your arsenal. We have the deterrent for that pick.
TLID got to come up with something here. They go for the Vex, they go for the stiff arm, they go for the ability to help out in these objectives. It's something that they had trouble with last time that we saw. Final pick, EXP lane. What about the CC? It shreds down on this Fredrin.
It's good against the Fredrin.
Can't survive diversion ambushes. Instead, they go for the old favorite, the Phoveus. That's what, 1 to 3 dashes?
Yeah.
So far.
And right now, Fnatic Onyx Philippines, final pick here, and they themselves pick up the CC. This is a pretty good pick, but gentlemen, so far we've been calling the draft. We know the differences of ideas coming into game number 2. TLID going up against Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Fnatic Onyx Philippines, quite, in terms of the win condition, they have Kelra, they have the CC as well. But now, thank you very much, gentlemen. But we have to continue with the show. We have to give it over to the casters for game number 2 of this best of 7.
Thank you very much, panel, for breaking down game 2 draft here. Once again, 14 minutes on the clock in game 1. Can TLID bring the series even, 1-1 in this best of 7? Gideon, how do you feel about the lineup?
I think it's going to be a little bit hard, right? Lane-to-lane matchups obviously leaning towards gold, but hopefully they can get enough of a lead on Aaron Cheeky and hold it until about mid-game where he can pop off. Otherwise, Fnatic, that is, I mean...
Yeah. The Fredrin speaks for itself. The CC2, Fredrin against Joy, CC against that Khalid and the Phoveus matchup.
We'll see if it's all going to come to place once again. Team Liquid ID, a different lineup, able to fight the range that we saw earlier and maybe even contain Kelra, the gold standard on the Bruno once again as they go ahead and face off. But even with this, you know, the Fredrin has popped up a little bit more throughout now the end of the M6 tournament here. But it was a newer pick that was picked up a lot against these assassin junglers, or, for example, the Joy that ends up working out really well. So King Kong going back to a familiar and comfort pick, if you will, that the world was used to. Now in the mid lane, still trying to check things out here. Super Prince really low.
I feel like the world forgot about the 2 years that we had to deal with Fredrin in the
Can we
jungle.
forget?
I don't think anybody can forget that, right? But considering that Team Liquid has the Khalid on their side, they can force out priority, whether through mid, through top side. It depends on the direction that they want to go to. And for now, it's a help Aran get out of this lane. We're just going to let Aaron Shiki do his thing in the gold.
Yeah, I wonder what emblems he actually went for here. If Aran actually went for more agility, Wilderness Blessing, perhaps to just rotate around the map and help the team get neutral objectives, or if it's more of that Brawly style where he wants to go up against Kirk, he wants to win it out. Witty, though, on the other hand, this is a comfort pick for him. Witty the Wise on the Khalid. We saw this also yesterday. Flicker out King Kong. Wow, that's quick for a Fredrin.
Yeah, he showed up real fast. Here's the look at the emblem. So to answer that, Aran does have the Festival of Blood, a little bit of extra movement speed too, but it is also just Fnatic Onyx PH that likes to roam around, couple tenacities. Again, this is a tankier Super Prince Luoyi that we have seen in the past, but again, now mid lane.
Oh, no flicker on Witty. Yeah, reaction coming down as well. Revitalize. Oh, Witty gonna be caught. Pops in.
Nice.
The healing. Kirk gonna be caught in the Curse Blast. FNOP and TLID are just poking each other.
I mean, this is just the kind of predetermined, hey, I demand respect around the river. And I understand why TLID wants to fight, right? At the end of the day, they can give up these neutral objectives, but they cannot afford to take that permanent damage. Whoa! They can jump right into the fight!
Oh, in front of pursuit, first blood for Aran. King Kong, though, picks it up. That's an internal guard. Disengage now. Taunt over two. That's the kill over Witty. Gonna be caught in the bad spot. No flicker for Witty. Oh, no kill. FNOP don't want to chase. Fabian steals away the purple buff and gets out.
Gets out, gonna be able to take that purple buff away, but Fnatic on PH wanted to go in and fight. They will get it. I'm surprised too. Witty was still able to survive that, even without the flicker that he had to burn earlier on. But ultimately, still even. You know, nothing too crazy, but the objective did go over to Fnatic on PH.
Well, actually, I think it might not be as even as we think it is, right? Fabian's level 6 to King Kong's level 5. Yeah. He had a previous 2-level lead because of the stolen buff. So I think that Aran was given the call, hey, if you can get a kill, that'd be great. And now Fabian will maintain that 2-level lead throughout this match.
Yeah, and the fact that Witty actually got out was just so valuable for them. They got the purple buff down below, though. It's going to be a gank. Aaron Shiki, good use of the Death Sonata to get the AoE down on Kelra, and it clears the wave just in time to escape. Up top, Aran's actually winning this match. Kirk brought back again in front of Pursuit. Oh, that was not the empowered skill one.
Talk about the discipline, man. I mean, he held on to the Vengeance. They're going to take a trip, though. Goes to the top side.
Fabian electrifying beats, gets him out to safety. Witty rotating as well. Raging
Sandstorm.
Flickers out.
He forces the flicker as soon as possible. Super Friends in so much trouble, gets hit by the Eternal Guardian as well.
Aran picks up the kill, another Infernal Pursuit. Now Brusco is going to be chased down. Witty rotating again, going in, looking for some damage, but Brusco should be fine. It'll be another trade on the board, and a TLID were capitalizing on FNOP.
Get right in, rock on it.
Now they pull ahead slightly more for Team Liquid ID. And now Super Friends, that's twice, right? Go!
Pretty OP. Oh my god.
Up by Kirk. Can he get away? Witty will try to jump in front of Pursuit. Kirk, so it was the Brave by 1v2. Kirk slain by Witty up top.
Okay, no pressure, no sweats there. They got the dive off, they got the kill that they were looking for, and still we see that the advantage is held by TLID.
This is like a page out of the book we saw in game 1 from FNOP, where the layering of the skills and the timing from TLID is on point so far. Now, can they maintain that? They've gotten themselves a nice, comfortable gold lead, 2K ahead. They're building in now, first items all locked in, but this, Aran again.
Oh, for Pursuit now going to be chunked low. Kelra will pick up the kill. Fabian jumping into the back line. Electrifying beats to run away. Eternal Guard not connecting. That's a good yin-yang reaction, or actually, now Kelra flicker forward. AOT!
He continues moving forward. Kelra needs to hold this position as Witty has to slow them down. They find one in Aaron, Jiki, and Kirk trading, and they want to go for one with the Raging Sandstorm. Wow. This fight between these two teams, nobody is giving up. Resources being thrown left and right.
No, I mean, it looks like you would think that there wouldn't be that moment, but then they crashed down. And again, that fight was started by Aran. He wanted it, but also now the two turtles in the hands of FNOP plus a turret. Kelra, one hit away.
Do not have a away.
Down initially. Aran goes in.
No.
Flickers forward.
Yeah, a big flicker burnt, and Kelra is just having fun here in the bottom lane. Kelra with 2 kills is just so scary.
I mean, it's scary now, but he doesn't have the Berserker's Fury, right? He's building up to a Malefic gun, which I think he should be getting sometime soon. In the meantime, I think that Fnatic on a
Right.
PH, despite the slight lead going over to Teal ID, the first item Power Sparks are finally starting to roll in.
Yeah, they're catching up with those first
Right.
items. That's
Oh,
a Thunderbelt
Color
now,
Sunstrong
too.
có.
Super Friends just got the glowing
Oh,
one, so
lâu
now
rồi.
working on his next. And I'm surprised, again, where's
Ui,
he
đang
go with this
rất là xinh.
diversion? Brings in King Kong with him. Maleficon now picked
Ui
up for Kelra.
Ô,
They're
tùy
gonna get
rồi.
spotted out, but Fabian might be in trouble.
Ô,
Okay,
Fabian.
is able to retrieve
Ui
them in. Super Prince flickering back into King Kong. Now
Ui, cái đồ này đánh sợ lắm trời. Oh my god.
Picking up that kill. Aran
Aran.
looking for the play. Raging Sandstorm and the flicker.
Oh, he connects, and now the revitalized Kelra alive. Winnie!
Winnie,
And
oh.
still, King Kong holds the line!
Kelra!
Kelra.
Again, Dobin and Kirk with a follow-up. Kelra gets Yehezkiel down. It's a wipeout!
What? Just like that, 6 minutes, 36 seconds into the game, they achieve a wipeout against Team Liquid ID. That's what we call a pinch.
That is a pinch and more, and they're gonna get more off of it. Again, you already see the Lightning come out, and it looks like they want to play that way even in game 2. And Team Liquid ID, after that shocking wipeout, will have to readjust the game plan moving forward. Last Turtle spawning up. Kirk just holding his own.
He knows. He knows. He's a little too strong right now. I don't know how else I could say this, right? Just a War Axe.
Lùi đá với xin nói.
Where's it going? To the top side? Doesn't spot him out. I'm pretty sure they saw the River Crab get taken there.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna send him up. Witty.
Winnie.
Oh.
Ô.
They spots him out.
Oh.
Some away. Now it's Brusco with the taunt as well. King Kong, there you
Cái
reaction.
gì này?
Sean
Oh.
Witty gets away just barely as he buys enough time for Fabian to recall.
How many times has Witty gotten away in this game, and he's gonna have to continue to do that. Even looking at the items, again, as we split down the roles, as Kelra works on the tier 1 here. Witty's only got a Thunderbelt himself. You can see Starlium Scythe now too for Fabian, still working on his
Kelra.
next, and Iran, Thunderbelt.
Có này đâu ạ?
So even the front line might be in danger because of the fact that this power spike for Kelra specifically.
Look at this guy!
Look at it! That's just the preview already, and he doesn't even have the Berserker's Fury yet.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking at the gold rankings on our little monitors, and he's got a 2K lead of his own, right? Oh my goodness. No, he's not gonna die here, right? They just gotta sacrifice the tier 2. No point to fight now.
Kelra is out poking and outranging a Granger.
Yeah, that's you know, at that point, and now that he gets and just works that turret down, King Kong's still looking for a fight. Witty.
Ô, Eris. Ô, đâu miệng.
Side Brusco picks up the kill. Aros, that Sonata does nothing. Kelra, slight tackle forward.
He's just showing off at this point. He's just showing off. I mean, what else can you say about it, right? He's getting away with everything.
He's sitting there.
He's got the super fan behind him.
Oh my lord.
If I had the super fan behind me too, I'd probably be as confident as Kelra, but right now they're already assaulting the base turret.
Aran walking up the Eternal Guard, not connecting. Brusco was able to dodge away from that one. Kelra is just munching on this turret from out of turret range.
We're not even hitting 9 minutes here as we move into that 9 minutes. 4 to 10, 7K gold lead. This is a
Nice.
ridiculous amount as Fnatic Onyx PH are putting Team Liquid in a slow
All I know, yeah.
chokehold, and they just can't breathe.
Ô, hiểu.
No, they
Oh.
can't. Yin Yang reaction. The balls from
Mà bắt
Kelra.
đầu mèo tay với xin.
From Prince.
Cho
And the
này.
diversion is truly a diversion. The mid wave comes in and Kelra picks it up. Reggie Sandstorm flicker, Kelra!
It's holding it forward around.
Kelra
Has this
fan
hold
là ma
the line,
rồi.
goes down. Brusco cuts them off a double for Kelra.
Again, the diversions will work in favor. Whether they send it forward or not, they make a win. And now working on the mid turret.
They're making this look so easy right now. And this is almost
Quá trình
come back
của
from.
mình này.
Yehezkiel just doesn't have the items. And with the next wave already crashing on, let's see how Fnatic Onyx push through.
Fabian on the
Kelra just
backside.
on it. Oh man, Fabian, he tried to go for the flank, but Kelra's the real assassin in game 2.
They, honestly, at that point, now they can go ahead and focus on the Lord. It looks like they'll do that, but I wouldn't have expected at this point, 10 minutes in, 2 base turrets gone, non-existent for Team Liquid ID here.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Naisu. I did not expect this game to go so far to Team Liquid ID's control. I think a large part of it is because they taken these fights as if they're skirmishes, but Fnatic Onyx slowly pushes these skirmishes together into one full 5v5, and that's what Team Liquid ID is failing to see.
Let's think about it here. Team Liquid ID, how do they adjust from this? They're 8,000 gold behind. There's no way they touch any area here around this Lord, so it's more so of what's the game plan for the base defense on this push-in.
I feel like this is what we call in the business a checkmate angle for Fnatic Onyx PH. They're not 10K, but they've got 2 inhibitor turns, which is already wild. this with the Lord as well. I'm going to double check the items real quick on our monitor. And yeah, not enough of an item power spike. King Kong knows it, that they've got them in the triangle choke.
That's the beast. King Kong is just standing there getting vision for the team, and now they're looking for another siege.
At this point, clearing up the waves. But again, as that Lord does make its way, they are going to work it down, but they just want this bottom turret down if they can fully expose the base. Lord making its way down the mid. And again, without those shields being part of this defense, that's a big advantage for Fnatic Onyx PH because they did the work earlier on. So they all just have to wait for this Lord to push in and then decide, do they end the game? Do they take a turret? How do they approach it?
Let's see. Aran getting taunted back up. Oh my, Kelra's just dealing so much damage. Side tackle. Kelra got the monster kill. Fabian gonna be caught in the curtain call. Witty looking for an angle. Both base turrets taken now. Witty with a quick sand guard.
Oh. Now they're going for the back line. Brusco is buying some time, but Kelra doesn't care anymore. He's going straight for the crystal to put it to a 2-0 for Fnatic Onyx PH.
You thought game one was fast.
Looking at
Yeah,
the
that's it,
a
maybe.
lot of poke, right? 3 impure rages coming all across the board. Oh, Aran, you're in so much trouble.
Oh, shoot.
Claws brings him back. Kirk rotating over. Fabian recovering that position for the team. Aran gets away.
I don't think he's going to be able to recover from that just yet, especially when the CC is on the opposite end. And now, even in the mid lane, they're still contesting for it. Brusco making sure that he can sustain against Witty and Yehezkiel at the same time. And this is what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, first blood, King Kong.
King Kong picks up first blood.
That's not what you want to happen, man. You know, give King Kong the Suyo. He'll make it happen. First blood in his hands. And that's the thing. The team is going to go ahead and play around those points. If they know that some of the resources are down from that early skirmish earlier on, they'll still capitalize it. And every single time the Suyo is picked up, I don't know. I actually don't know the perfect statistic on how many first bloods that hero actually has, just because how much damage he has in the early game with the Soul Sever.
He does, but Kirk right now is winning this
Liga
one
ga du ba da ma wo thot
so
da.
far, and Aran forced to actually go for the recall. But generally, how I'm seeing this is that TLID
Stay
make
down,
sure that they have a tight game, right? Any little mistake that they've made, we've seen Fnatic Onyx PH really blow that over and turn it into a full-on snowball.
Yeah. Let's think about this. This time around, Kelra's not going to have the Bruno. He's got the Harith, a signature pick of his. Hold on. Hold that thought for a second. The fight for the turtle, though. Fabian.
Good retribution now. Going to be caught on the curtain call and also the Sanguine Claws. Witty pops into Vitalize. Kirk coming in as well. Kirk into the back. He dives.
And now he wants to continue on. Oh, the
Brazos.
Vanguard's not enough. Takes down. But at least Fabian is able to find a kill for himself, right? These small moments to pick up these kills. To find that initial gold is going to be great. Sanguine Claw is showing up to be quite a bit of a problem for
Brother space အများကြီးပြောလိုက်ပတဲ့တော့နည်း place တိရှာပြောပါမရလိုက်ရတော့ဟိုကဂိုးလေးက Harry ကြီးဆိုတော့ Roy Bruno ကလည်းဘန်ရတယ်ပြောင်းလား Oh yeah. Early.
Just wings on out of there. But he's going to be fine. Already early damage potential showing.
I really hope he doesn't disrespect it. So far, Kirk has been
Iran
playing
is
strong
fine as
game,
well.
and Ron does have a bit of a level lead so far, but at the same time, right, we're noticing
Joanne
that
didn't
it's just
know.
about pushing these waves.
Look at her. Now he doesn't know. I thought Chong Wuxi need it. Harry ne. Branja ne ခါကျတော့ Harry ကနည်းနည်းလေးဒုက္ခ Oh yeah.
Picked off
သုံး
Fabian.
ဝေးလိုက်
Able to utilize Aran's aggression. Now it's Witty who gets traded
Oh,
on. We
King.
have Super Friends with the claw and King Kong.
ဆိုရတော့တော်နာတယ်ပဲ
Okay, at least
လည်းမနေ့ကတပွင့်စော့တည်
they're trading up, right? We give Witty, we take Kirk.
အလီယို pressure ပေးလိုက်လို့တာ
And not only that, but this is Fabian, the best start that he's had so far in the series. It is going to be on this Joy. Could hyper scale up pretty well.
Harry, oh,
She can
look at that, eh?
flicker, so Kelra goes and gets that resource out with the Zaman Force. But Fabian also going
Fabian,
back and
there
picks
was
up Scythe now. And with the early kill that he has,
Risky.
Ag
And that's straight up
is gonna
he died.
provide quite a bit of damage. Still running that temporal rain on the Joy here.
They have to really take their time with this, right?
Cecilio ကလည်းခြေတစ်ခုတော့ပြရအောင် Cecilio နဲ့ Fraser နဲ့ခါကျ Fraser တာတည်ရအောင်လိုက် But ဒီမှာ space တွေအများကြီး create ပြီး
going for the double waves, and I feel that in the past couple of games, as much as Aaron Shiki was able to pick up those double waves, Fnatic Onyx capitalized a lot more on Yehezkiel and his positioning, which is something we need to keep in mind, right? If we see Feathered Airstrike, we're expecting to come out pretty fast.
Now the turtles
Okay. Ooh, I like it.
Yehezkiel gets taunted.
Deal with Fraser Oh flicker ကောင်းလိုက်
Flicker out to safety. Meanwhile, Aran Gonna kill by the yo-yo Witty, forced to use the revitalize just for the burst, just
Oh.
for the poke of Super Fritz.
စီလီကောင်းနေကွက်တီး
Feather airstrike is going to come out very. Fabio is going to
Feather
try.
airstrike.
Electrify
Oh, yeah.
beams
Joy
is
electric
going
beat
in.
it.
Curse blood.
And that's gonna be Brusco taking very low, still able to
Oh,
survive.
yeah, he
Brusco
ne.
in the midst of it all.
Mati di
Getting the kill back, baby.
Professor Lai ne.
Total AOG. That's the
Oh, no,
kill
I don't.
for Fabian. Jumping back in.
Oh,
Walrus
okay.
down.
Okay, yeah.
They didn't find it back. They didn't get the trade that they were looking for. And finally, Team Liquid have some momentum in the game. And King Kong is able to walk away from another electrifying beats. At
Baby.
least they're able to breathe for now. But one of the better starts we've seen from TLID.
Yeah, not only that, but all that going again to Fabian here.
Carolina Bruno လုပ်ပေးလိုက်တာ
5-0 now, gets the triple. Not only that, but also got the turtle. Uh-oh, King Kong might get spotted out.
အဲ့လိုထွက်ပါပြီအာရဘာလုပ်တာလဲ
Oh, King Kong survives the outplay from King Kong. Kurt gets the shutdown. Fabian got taken out under the turret.
He's alive.
That's shutdown right there.
How? How did it happen? How? Fabian, I mean, he's 5-1
Inserably
now.
တော်တော်ဆိုးရပါ
Broken record at this point of time, but here comes the rest of the team. Is now they're going for a bit of a lane swap. Kelra dealing with a round underneath the turret with the Zaman voice. He's not
Oh,
even
yeah,
worried
chill.
about it.
Doesn't care about it.
Oh, look at him.
Jumping back and forth. Aran going to the bush again.
Oh.
Sanguine Claws catches him. Oh, the
Brother airstrike. Aye, or not, eh?
Slain by the bat impact.
The timing on the Unbreakable to get the taunt outside of the circular from the feathered airstrike was perfect timing.
Outside of the circular. I love that. I'm going to steal
like
that.
that?
I like that a lot, as a matter of fact. But at the same time, it's 5-5, and they've evened out that lead. Man, that was such a huge shutdown. The gold now looking real good, but there's permanent damage on the map. Top side missing up and one inhibitor. Sorry, not one inhibitor, a tier 1, but even the bottom side has been traded too. At the same time,
Sorry.
King Kong still level down on Fabian.
He's a level down, and they're finding these small wins across the map. And Team Liquid
ဘာကြောင့်ကနေ side push နဲ့ပက်တီလေးတယောက်
to go ahead and capitalize
ပ
on
တူ
some
လေးရ
of
အောင်
these. They
ပတ်စံ
have,
ရှာ
like you just mentioned,
Whew,
the lead
King Kong
in
နဲ့တည်း
level
ပို့ပေးရ
for Aaron Shiki. He is a level 10 right now. He's only got the Hunter Strike, still building in. Meanwhile, Kelra, Starlium Scythe still working on the
RN နဲ့ space
Now,
query လုပ်ပြီးတော့ဒီဘက်ကတင်းအောင်ပူပြီးတာပါအဲ့ဒါတော့
Turned
သိ
up
ချာ
by TLID. Let's see if they can get the 3 for 3 here.
ဒါဘော press ဆက်ပြပါခဲ့
Sanguine Claw around very low for the airstrike to zone him away. Fabian wins out the retreat battle. King
Oh.
Kong.
Fabian.
By Fabian as the curtain call comes down, but FNOP will
ဒီ
just
ပြန်တာတရားရအောင်ပေါ့သွားသေး
Yep, they're just pulling back. We don't need any more than this. Let's not
ကဲရော
overextend.
ဖဲသားပြီးတော့
Let's just breathe for a moment. With King Kong already down, Fabian has guaranteed his level lead against his opponents, but Aaron
That's
Shiki is the main win condition. He needs to poke out his opponents, and once Fnatic on
Oh
it
my
get desperate,
God.
that's when Witty needs to find that
အိုး
counter
ဘရန်ဂျာကြီးကျွန်းစီကကောင်းလိုက်တာဟဲ့
Shots here. No!
Super
Oh.
Fritz in that bush. Aaron Shiki now with the Rhapsody as well. Aaron able to escape. Kelra with the taste.
Ski survive
Another
there.
Aran Power Wilderness.
Bro,
For the airstrike,
corner
Kelra!
mare. Oh,
Still able
Kelra.
to dodge away
Shut
for
on,
so
shut on.
long.
2 for 1 so far, but it's still revitalized. Comes
Oh,
up through like
Fabian.
does not take it.
Ah,
But
yeah.
finally, Fabian
Yeah,
is able to put
yeah.
him down as Aran is next to fall with the help of King Kong. Are you gonna do it? Yes,
Oh.
he will.
Oh, yeah.
Underneath,
Oh.
They dive. A double for Kirk.
The timing
ကောင်းလိုက်တာ
of the
ချက်
Super Fam comes through again in a fight that you thought was all for TLID.
share ရ
But it
Already
wasn't
like
enough.
yeah.
Again, the
Within
pendulum
9 minutes.
swinging in game 3. They focus on the the mid turret.
အိုးနာနာတော့နာတော့
Going in for the airstrike.
For the airstrike, damn it,
Shut
what kind of-
down by Aaron Shiki.
That's 2
Blooper,
remaining
blooper.
gold into the pockets of TLID. At least they find something back. 9-9. They're keeping their
ကရောနေသူရဲ့
very
မစမန်
serious.
ကိုလိန်
Three kills on their side.
ဘူလိုမရတည်းလေးဟိုဖြစ်နေ every နေ့ Granger နဲ့ခါကြတည်းလေး ပြောနေ Granger movement speed ပိုကောင်းတော့ Harry ကနည်းနည်းတိုင်ပတ်နေ
Cursed blood to come out, and then maybe looking to, overstep a little bit to get TLID to come out of their comfort zone.
The most difficult thing here for Fnatic on a PH is obviously dealing with where Fabian is. Most of the time, because of how far ahead he is in terms of damage potential on the
Nah,
Joy, they got to keep an eye on the back line, and Kirk's been doing a fantastic job. I mean, he is tanky enough to go ahead and jump in around whether he has the Vengeance or not. And that's
Alright.
kind of a mirrored approach where your back
Come on,
line is
Lion.
both exposed on
အားတော့မ
both
ကြောက်
sides.
နဲ့ Harry ကဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့
Here. So they check
အဲ
things out.
ဘယ်လိုပဲ spare တွေပို့ပြီးစိတ်ပြေတယ်ဆိုတော့
One to go ahead and get in position. Now still, it's relatively even across
အဲ့ဒီကဘာလို့လဲမလီစာလုံးမစမန်နေပါကကြ Harry ကပို့ကောင်းနေ
as they get in position.
Ranger.
Overlord.
Green Furrow ပြီးတော့
Forcing respect out of them, right? Even
That's
on the
right,
outside,
Magnifico.
from FNOP, they're not spreading out anymore. They got to stay together.
Okay, so Melphic Roar already picked up by Aaron Shiki too, so that should be the power spike. 3-item power spike.
Oh.
You can see the damage.
Oh,
The
brother.
feather
Airstrike.
Gets
Gone.
it out of Kelra. Is out of the fight just like that. Up top, 1v1. Flavor
Oh,
Flav, they use
baby.
Cypher in a 1v1 against
Gone.
Kirk. I want to go solo kill you, but it's not King Kong, it's Kirk.
Yep, it's Kurt for now. It's not over just yet, right? 4 ultimates to 3 ultimates. The ult economy is looking pretty good for Fnatic Onic at this point of time, and this is the very first Lord.
Orange ကြည့်နေချုံတော့တော်လာတယ် Kelra လက်တိုင်ပတ်မိုင်းချုံ Everything နဲ့ကောင်းထိုးလိုက်သူ့လမ်းကြည့်ကို sorry မိုင်းမပြ တော့လက်စားပုံနေပွဲချင်း7နဲ့နုံတော့ဆောင်းချင်လို့ဒီပါ
Aran jumping in. Oh,
Ooh,
it's
not
Kelra.
like that.
He claims it, and Kelra disappears. Aaron Shiki gets him down with the Death Sonata.
Where did he go? Where did he go? Just a couple of shots and he disappears.
Where did he go to
Not able to build up enough shields. The raw damage from Aaron
Yeah,
Shiki. It's just too much for now.
တိုင်းပေါ်နေရှေ့
Too
မိုင်း
much for now, and this is the game that Aaron Shiki and the rest of Team Liquid ID needed. They get themselves another major objective, and now trying to work down some of the turrets they still have left to approach the base
Risky.
of FNOP, but Aaron Shiki just go ahead
on
and
later.
up, take down that tier 2 as the Lord makes its way down.
Oh, no, Leo.
Kirk?
Even with the revitalize, Aran might have just made it. Kirk ain't
Oh,
going
yeah.
the midst.
依家我哋 smash
The
到
rest of the cavalry who just pounce on him.
Kirk, he's
It's
got to
calculated.
calm down here. I mean, yes, it's calculated from Iran's side, but Kirk should know better.
Gone.
He got very confident off of that, and this is off of a Lord push.
Lord push right now. Mid turret still being worked on. A feathered airstrike dropped down.
King Kong.
Wow, a lot of
Delay.
shots for King Kong. Shields are going to be popping here, though. Lord almost gone. The last one will go down, though, as Lord is cleared out. So FNOP will hold on to the base turrets pretty healthily.
For now, at least they can breathe. At least they can, take their time and rethink their strategies. Because I think the hardest part is getting the right people.
Kelra
together.
Holy Crystal တော့ပြီးသွားတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့သူ့
Ideally,
အတွက်
on both
ဟို Summer Force Game ရောဝင်ပြီးတော့ရှော့က
Ideally,
dance ဖို့အဆင်မ
basically
ပြေသေး
any
ဘူး
of
ပေါ့
their front lines.
They still want to go in. Kirk.
ဟုတ်တယ် airstrike
Super
super
fast.
fast 3 show လိုက်
Back just in time. Another feather airstrike over to Kelra. Very low on Kelra and Kirk. Friends able to clear out the wave in the bottom lane.
Ooh.
And that is it. But man, the
ခုန Granger dash ဆိုတာတော့တစ်လုံးဝင်သွားပြီးသွားပြီ
He was hurting a lot. That was glowing wand
Yeah.
on top of the. Oh my! It could have gone bad. Super Prince luckily pops his
Get the
ult
lead in.
and conveniently has minions
Yeah.
down by the bot side of the
that could
map.
have been real bad.
It could have been real bad. Even running with that. Again, all Super Prince wants to do is continue to build up on the stacks
Stack him up.
that he has. Glowing Wand, Wishing Lantern now. You can see it there. 216 stacks for the Sicilian. So the later the game gets dragged on, then Super Prince becomes pretty devastating in terms of damage. But you saw it too. The stacks for Aaron Shiki. He deleted Kelra earlier on.
Yeah, I mean he's 695. He's about to hit 700. And it's only like 1230 in the game so far. I mean he's been stacking up really, really nicely, and I do like the way that TLID is adjusted.
And you can see the purchase for Witty. Anti-Curse into second item Twilight Armor. So he has ways to deal with the poke that will be constantly
that's
coming out
what
from
I'm at,
FNOG's Super Prince, right? With the Sicilian, that bad impact.
ပွဲချင်း7 minute
have that punch
low ball
on
second
the
second gen
You can just constantly take that damage, back away,
Oh.
wait for it, Kelra. Ooh.
Oh, Kelra.
Oh, this is oh pretty well
That's a big bomb. No, that's not either. Curse
Oh,
of blood
it's-
from Witty.
That's 3 members already down, and Kirk, he's got no pushing power as Faviat starts running in with the rest of the squad. It's going to be the Vengeance already. Papa with no minions. What?
Okay. There's the
Okay.
push in from the cavalry they're looking for in game of 3.
Let's go,
FNOP
M.
still try to defend, but they're going to have to make this work.
Only Kirk left now. Gun down the Rhapsody and that Sky
Nice.
Piercer. The cavalry are alive.
Ooh, they breathe life into another game, extending the series. They're not going to let FNOP get to match point just yet. Not without at least.
let's
And as
go
we've said, Kelra is going to feel good on just about anything.
Ooh,
This isn't
Cloud.
even an
Maybe
out
a Cloud
of
be,
production
yeah.
here. This is a Beatrix. It's been a solid pick throughout all of them.
chips
Solid A+
chipsကြီး
One more for
chipsကြီးနဲ့ဘာလို့မအောင်ကြီးလေးอ่ะ
What does Aran get?
အလူကျော်လိုက်အောင်ပါ
Do you do that? Do you go through the shortcut and then just drop
Yeah,
the
Phobius.
pathway?
That's Phobius available too. They're gonna go for the
But
Frederick, the
dang.
answer to the joy, but
Where's it
this
going?
it has to be XP. They're pulling a team spirit.
ဘယ်တွင်
So it's that
Maria?
trap you were talking about, but a game late and the other team.
I mean, because we've seen it before, so it's not all
Gone
that
your
crazy
way,
but now. We'll see how TLID uses this draft against Fnatic Onyx Philippines, which arguably they got all the favorites on each hand. And with that, we're throwing it over to the casters.
Let's go.
Very interesting draft. We already know what party it's about to be here for this one from TLID. But interesting. I mean, even with that Fredrin last pick, what do you guys feel like?
I don't know.
Chip G ငါမကြိုက်
I
ဘူး
guess it's a little
အ
interesting.
ကြောင်းကိုရှုံးလာနေပါဟဲ့ဟေး Chip G ကင်ကြည့်
down and try and keep Joy in place. I guess that's what they wanted from the beginning.
Hey, it looks as zany as goofy.
ကျန်တဲ့ hero လည်း ban ထားတယ်အဲ Chip က
first at MPLID and Aran was the guy who
နည်းနည်း spy ဖြစ်မှမြန်အောင်လို့ဆိုတော့အဆင်ပြေလား
Fredrin XP Aran, I trust you.
We'll see if that trust is in the right place, because one thing's for sure, TLID is one of the few teams that brings out so many unique combinations of heroes and picks, and they do it for game number 4 here. And to even out the series, we'll see if it's enough. But also on the flip side, the other side here, for Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they're more so leaning on some comfort for this. And Brusco, like I said, on the Khalid,
ဝင်းဒီကောင်းလိုက်တာ
had great performances, and you take away the Louis from Super Prince as he gets whittled down already. Oh, Brusco's could be in trouble. He's going to go ahead and cyclone out of there. But at least now,
Hala phone should I on?
Super Prince, so he could actually take Yehezkiel's ults too.
Oh, Fabla ပြရပဲဟေးပြေးပြန်
As expected, but
aggressive ဆန်ဆန်ပဲအေးပြေးရ Fabla ပြေးပြန်ပြောပါ
Save him, Super Prince still. Despite getting bullied.
အဲ့ဒါလေးဟောဖြစ်တော့ Kara ရဲ့
interesting
Kara ရဲ့ Patrick လည်းတော်တော်ကောင်းတယ်နော်ချက်
I wasn't hoping that was going to happen, but at the very least, it's good for Fnatic Onyx PH, right? They find one for themselves, and at this point, it's about brawling, getting all those battle spells out of them as soon as possible.
Yeah, they have to go ahead and play against
ဒီတဲ့နဲ့ Fredrin နဲ့တာတော့အားလေးကြီး
Again, an XP Fredrin is not something you see
But
too often, so this will be interesting.
ပတဲ့ခါကျတော့ Fredrin ဝင်ပြီးပါပြီလို့ရ
The revitalize alongside.
ဒီတဲ့ခါကျတော့လည်းသူရဲ့
We know that
မတည့်ပြီးဖြစ်တာတွေကပိုကောင်းတာနော်ဘလို့ ultimate နဲ့ပဲငါလည်းမသိ
Surge, Summer Fabian. No, he just used a queller. He took him down. 1-1.
Yep, so far Yehezkiel's been doing a very good job making sure that duality is able to proc just in time and making it difficult for Brusco to kind of take that space, right? Every single time he tries to forcefully push out those waves, he's going to have to pay the tax.
And this is why having that Louis Yi is so valuable on these lineups, because it's just, you're able to go ahead and get, even if it's just the reactions that you're using and not the diversion, so to speak, it's a big threat. But the fight for this turtle's already going to break out here.
Okay.
Aran almost fully stacked, goes in, but King Kong
Oh,
just King Kong wins the retreat battle. No revitalize for them to play with. Even when Aran places it down, Brusco, Raging Sandstorm with E, doesn't escape from the primal wrath of Kirk.
Why would they take such a big risk on this? They didn't even hit their level 4s on time, right? I think that Aran, yes, at the very least, you are somewhat strong, but you don't have your first items as well. No Thunderbelt, really. And you're going to get bursted down by a majority of these heroes until later on into the game. But let's not forget, Witty is not level 4. Even Yehezkiel wasn't level 4. I just don't see the angle.
And that's why FNOT punished them when they had that angle available to them too. Witty still not level 4, will take quite a bit of poke damage down. He's going to back off here, but this is again a sign, and we see King Kong do this all the time when he picks up the door. He loves to jump this
level 5
around the map.
ဘောစီ3မိနစ် 2.4k ကိုလီရအတဲဆိုင်နဲ့ဟိုဘက်ကကျန်းပါလေခဏတည်းဝင်ဘယ်လိုများ fan တော့ပါလဲစဉ်းစားကြည့်
Yep, real fast on him. He wants to catch up as much as
အ
possible.
စဉ်းစားတယ်ဘောစီ3မိနစ်ပဲရှိတယ် 1.9k 2.2k ကိုလီနဲ့
Move out of the way and not give a free kill over, because so far, oh, hold on.
ဒီက3ခုပဲ
King Kong
Diba?
damage of it,
Sa
2
PPI.
handle. Electrifying beats onto Yehezkiel.
King Kong.
King got very low
ဒီကတော်တော်နေလိုက်
And man, up top,
Hello,
it's a
listen to
bullet
it.
from Aaron. Still no damage though.
Ah,
Kimura walking up. Diversion.
Oh, IMU outplayed. Talk about an IMU of a lifetime to find the solo onto Yehezkiel. Nowhere safe.
IMU is what they said. And Yehezkiel gone. Now a lot of the pressure there on the top side, and you would think, you know, with the lineup Team Liquid ID has, they're the ones playing around, keeping the head on the swivel from Fnatic Onyx PH with the macro utility that this lineup brings. But it seems like FNOP's able to do that instead.
Yeah, and they're doing a
Oh
phenomenal
boy
job. So
ငါအဲ့ဒါပြောနေကိုလီရရက်ဆက်လိုက်တာဟဲ့
unfortunately does not outpush Kirk at this
ဒီက5ခုပဲရှိတယ်ကင်း5ခုမှ240နဲ့ဆို1000ကျော်လောက်ပဲရှိမှာဒါ forming ရမယ်တော်တော်ကောင်းတယ်
very happy
like
around the
တနင်္ဂနွေအင်ဒိုနီးရှားအနေနဲ့ forming လိုက်တယ်ကြည့်ကြည့်အောင်
TLID to come in with more creative angles, right? Now that their ults are available, they should be
ဘက်ကဘယ်လိုများ form လိုက်တော့
opportunities to
နားတယ်ဆိုတော့မရှိဘူးခက်လာလေ
Again,
ဖက်ထွက်တဲ့ဘက်ဖလီစာနေ
is the utilization of the Valentina for Super Friends. Shortcut going to be dropped down. And that's King Kong. So he's like, you know what? Shortcut came through there on that side of the map. We'll go and make our way to the turtle and start this up to lock it down. Second one.
အင်းကောင်ဒါတနောက်တစ်ခုထည့်ရမယ်
Contest, so it looks like
ကိုလေးမှာဘက်ထရီနဲ့ကလောက်နဲ့အဲ့ကလောက်ကဘက်လိကင်းအောင်ဘက်ထရီကိုဘာမှလုံးမရအောင်
They read perfectly into it, right? They see that
မြူကလစ်တူမြူကလစ်တော့ကိုလေးမြူကလစ်တော့မယ်
was initially going to go. They know for a fact that they've got no resources, so therefore we don't need everybody around the turtle.
ဝင်ဒီဗီဒီယိုထိအောင်တော့အောင်ရှုပ်အော်အရန်တီးဦးမယ်အော်ရကောင်းနေ
Oh, King Kong comes to his safety.
ဘယ်လိုတော့ကောင်းတာတော့
Can we just say, you know, Kirk on this Edith, a signature pick of his. Loves to do the. Oh, hold on, jungle.
King Kong electrifying beats. Yes, Q, you know, reaction.
Fabian,
Very
Fabian.
low again. King Kong versus 2. Fabian escaping the Queller. Yes, Q walking up again up top. There's a battle. It's gonna be King. Oh, Kelra jumping. Oh, the double for Kelra under the.
ကျတော့မနိုင်ဘူးဘက်ထရီကိုကလောက်ကဘယ်လိုမှမနိုင်
Done. Brusco applying so much pressure across the map, opening up that information, allowing these kills to be falling through for both Kelra as well as, I mean, King Kong was already 2v1ing it. He's really pressing his lead.
He's has a massive lead right now, but just again as a team, it's mind-boggling to think that Fnatic Onyx PH is finding all these fronts across the map from bottom to the jungle and then the top. Then it's Team Liquid ID really trying to catch their breath and trying to find these moments where they can actually keep things from getting too out of hand. And now the focus here, tier 1 bottom lane, they all rotate down.
ခါလဲ Sunstorm ပြီးလိုက်ပြီ
Brusco just onto Aran. Kelra was trying to siege this turret down in the bottom lane, and Liquid are caught in a tough spot now. They have a composition that needs to somewhat snowball. Secure neutral objectives at least at the start, and they have failed to do that.
And
Yeah,
that's
but I know,
one
but I
of the
know.
builds that we're seeing. Everybody is making sure that they've got some tough. And now here comes the shortcut as Aaron Cheeky is chugging down Brusco, but it's not over yet.
Well,
The
it's an
front line's
idiot.
in
Nah,
trouble.
like that.
Sandguard,
King Kong bị đem
Going
blue.
back into the back of Hezkiel, trying to survive King Kong again.
You
Oh,
made
no,
Bruce
they rush Cheeky, and Brusco will try to sandwich him down. The BMI is
Haha.
on Kelra's debut.
ဝကျင်ချောင်းနေဘူးစစ်ကေကိုလီ guys
We hope to contain him. King
ဘာမှလုပ်မရ
unleashes in the back line, and now that's another objective. Turtle secured here for FNOP. And just Team Liquid
Hero,
ID
Magnifico, right?
really trying to decide, you know, we brought some uniqueness.
အဲ့ sniper ring အထက်ကျ
We
အောင်
brought some spicy picks to the draft and maybe a whole lot of utility, but we haven't been able to use it.
Have you guys ever watched a video of a hydraulic press? Because that's what Fnatic Onyx PH are doing right now in Team Liquid. They've got all the utility to be able to come up with creative angles, but these fights have been so convincing from
မာကို
Fnatic's
ပြောတာ
side.
တော်မိုက်တယ်
I gotta give it to Kirk. He's doing a great job, but at the same time, their pinches are like none other. Their collapses are so clean.
Again, it's that thing I was saying earlier about Kirk, man. You know, he's underrated in the sense that when the
Holy
Edith
Ghost
is also
happy die.
popped up,
But then
it's
when I
not
went in.
something you so much think about. He also loves to play with the Warcry emblem, so he's a little more aggressive.
ပြည်
But
နာမလို့
like you said, Gideon, it's the fact of the
I know,
lane,
I know, but
whether
yeah,
they're
nah, I'm sure.
initiating with Brusco's Raging Sandstorm or playing into
ဟဲ့ကတူလီတော့ဆာတေးဦး
onward and Earth Shatter. But look at this. Focus now on this side of the map. They want to take down that tier 2 if they can. TLID knows this. They'll rotate and try to keep things under control. But again, keep an eye on Brusco. Doesn't have the flicker though. But King Kong.
Oh, he's gonna go. Oh, the snipers apathy from Kelra.
ဒီတော့ထွက်လာတယ်
Taking Hezkiel down. Or
Alright, Sandstorm.
as well. Revitalize the
Yo,
Bay. Aran
အလူကျော်စားကြအိုးအပေါ်လုံးရောက်ရက်ကွက်လိုက်ကြီး
Fredrin, and he caught all of them.
Oh my goodness, melted every single one. An energy eruption of a lifetime coming in from Super Fritz.
What was
The
that?
IQ on Super Prince and the decisions. And that's why we said this Valentina pick would play a integral part in winning this game because you have
Chip
so
G
many
mà hù
options
đấy.
and the creativity.
chip နဲ့ချလာဆိုစား
Kelra, and now King Kong on Hezkiel.
What a
Gone
statement
like
he's
a
given it
snipe.
for Kelra. A
Agent.
masterclass doesn't miss one of those shots, making sure that TLID are always on their toes. It's 9 minutes into the game with one of the biggest leads we've seen so far. 11
Gone like that.
6K,
Yeah.
17-1.
What do you do?
What do you do?
What do you do
Start
against
praying.
this?
You start praying and hoping and counting that you have another 5 minutes in you.
I think the party's over here for Witty in this one because right now there's no way you show up for these to contest. Even the diversion so
Hey,
late. They
follow.
send in Aaron Shiki, BMI's back to the base.
Almost
Played
Sunday.
at that point, and now with a massive deficit to work against, and the shields already popped in the mid lane and turret down to the top. They are down to almost the bare bones. Look at the difference in itemization.
Dear Lord, dear Lord.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, Heskill, it just has to eat it. Like, what else can you say about it, right? You don't have the items to even get into your second item spike. And unfortunately, an Enchanted Talisman, yes, you can throw out abilities, but half the time, eating those shots is all you can hope for.
You're super
Di
ahead
dime
of
piên
the
này.
season. That's what Kelra is doing right now. Another random shot. Raging Sandstorm backwards, but it's all just
Bây giờ mới đầu à.
space for Kelra to get
Lo
the
lòng là
base
gì?
turrets.
Đi với nó ski.
Base turret mid already
Almost
down,
Sunday.
but still, Lord is up.
Oh my lord.
They used the conceal earlier on, so TLID back to go.
I don't see. Bao lâu vậy?
Lane, and now it's Brusco diving in. King Kong cleaning up.
He made the standard strong. He's ending this game. Keep your prayers up. Start praying to him if you're a marksman. A gold lane god. Kelra. What a shot.
What a shot, what a line.
Tan hả mày? Kêu rồi biết rồi đi rồi.
I'm just putting
Ở đi
it out
bán
there.
này
I
được.
don't think they have enough damage.
Bruno pí luôn mày à? Bruno pí luôn mày là chơi nó ngon thì bây giờ là chơi nó ngon là xô hết rồi.
Closing the gap indeed, and the draft has been locked in for
Irritor.
both sides. TLID, we talked about it. We said they have little margin for error. Is this the draft that can make the difference for their micro engagements?
Well, if Onyx wins this one, this is the final time the panel will be on screen. So thank you everyone, but now we're throwing into the casters.
Ủa.
Thank you so much, panel, for breaking it down once again. It's me, Naisu, Gideon, and Mirko to bring you a championship
Naisu,
point
Gideon,
game right
Mirko.
now. Can TLID extend the series? Again, it's a best of 5. They have the chance, a best of 7. They have a chance here. What do you guys think of the drafts for
Marco?
this one?
Tôi đi nè. Mình never know. Guess me out.
Not have taken a completely separate angle of targeting Fabian, and now the early game as well. The TLID need to snowball off this comp.
There's so much control for FNOP. This looks like a pure neutral objective snowball kind of composition. They're going to get first one all the way to the third.
Well, let's see if it can happen here again. FNOP
Let's go.
facing championship point, 1 win away from being crowned the M6 World Champions. And TLID with this lineup, they had the Carmilla before, they can make it work
Dang.
again, and that's a good little preview of what's at stake here. As early a game already, poking happening in the mid lane.
Okay.
This wishing
Nice.
lantern, Super Prince.
Okay. Flicker out from Super Prince. Respect instantly as Aran shows himself in that push. Revitalized for Witty.
Yeah, but just as expected here, right? Because Kirk is going for Warcry, doesn't have the concussive blast. He won't be able to push it out as quick as a run, only for the earlier stages of the game. Later on, might be a bit more tough. But let's see how Yeheskill's
Mình
going
lên live
to
chat nữa.
Lethal Wanderer goes
King có
for
have
the
shut up public bị hẻm nó.
Early over Aran. Flicker
Okay.
as well.
F4 là được còn like especially yang free lo video ya F4. Tại tôi này là mà vui miပြန်ထွက်ရခက်ပဲ။ဒီမှာသူအင်းကို trust မရဘူးနော်။တင်းယုံတော့ F4 ပို့ပြီးကောင်းမှာဝင်ပြီးပြန်ထွက်ရခက်တယ်ပေါ့။ join လို့မျိုးပေါ့။ join ခါကျဝင်လိုက်ထွက်လိုက်တယ်
Space advantage that FNOP can set up with this type of composition. Even with the Eve here, I mean, again, looking at it, you know, Kirk, we just saw the performance with the Edith.
။ဆိုင်ငါတို့ EPA ကောင်နေရိုက်တယ်ရိုက်တာဟဲ့အောင်
But
ကြီး
even so, the amount of
But I
mobility
didn't
that
only
is
see
here
it.
for Kelra this time around, running even that sprint, he's going to be able to maneuver easily around these team fights, and TLID has to be able to shut that down.
Yeah, I mean, he can play on... Aaron Shikin, unfortunately, can only play on linear lines, right? He kind of wants to line up with Keller, which is why he got extra movement speed
Okay.
in his emblems, just to kind of keep up with it. But as soon as that sprint pops, there's no keeping up with it at all, especially if he takes hit from a Queen's Call. Nevertheless, we are seeing an instant invade on the opposite side of that.
ဝိုင်းပြီးပြေးပြန်တယ် retriever ဝတ်စမပြေဘူး
Fnatic Onyx Philippines, this is the control we were talking about, but they have utilized a couple of resources, and that's why King Kong was sent down below.
Oh,
Brusco.
no, Brusco. ပြီးတော့ဒီမျိုးရှိ flick အထပ်ပြီးပြီးရတယ်
Out and now
အမားတစ်ခုမှလက်မခံဘူး
Again, another battle spell used here on both sides, really, all for this first turtle, really taking the time. Aran will hold it up at the front. Fabian joining the fight, doesn't have a purple buff. It's going to be up in 10 seconds, so they might just go ahead and start this up. Take control of it as they do. Brusco gives the information, doesn't have a level 4, so not going to be able to do much as King Kong, though.
Ooh, baby,
did
gone
end
later.
up, again, just trying to get some of that gold lead and that even level lead.
I mean, as much as Team Liquid ID don't mind taking the turtle, honestly, I feel like it's a bigger win for Fnatic Onic PH. You are getting your jungler ahead, and more importantly, you're not even giving the opportunity for TLID to start a snowball. I mean, let's just go match by match, right? Super Prince, he's hurting a Hezkill, especially when both the supports have to
Fabian?
leave the lane.
Yeah, I think it's just a very interesting.
Fabian in a counter or cheating, no?
Fnatic Onic Philippines. They could have gone over
Oh,
the top. Aran
alright.
force a flicker. King Kong not gonna overcommit there. The Primal Wrath already used by Kirk. And they're
ဟိုတော့ကိုရှိအေးစစ်ခွာနေနေရတယ်
on this turret gold, half of the HP on the turret.
သူရှင်ဒီမိတ်တုံးထားတယ်သူနေကင်းကောင်းဆွဲပလန်ချရဆွဲပါလား
Lantern
No.
flare, yeah, no threat over to King Kong and Kirk.
There's no damage here, not yet, but Witty, he's gonna get chunked down as RWM
Okay.
is also being
Yo.
And that's the thing, we're seeing a lot of these fights where it's like, you know, they're dropping down ultimates, they're using their battle spell. Oh,
So
they get a
strong.
flicker out again
Nice.
Here, and this is all the thing, right? If you can go ahead and catch a kill for either team, then that's great. But like Gideon, you just mentioned, you know, if FNOP kind of delays this, they don't actually have to go and snowball. Hold on.
That's
Oh,
over.
oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Now that's the revitalize, but Kelra picks up the kill. Fabian, the kill. Kelra, one piece from both of them.
It's too slow, too late to react to it. Even with the Curse of Blood, just no damage to really follow up, and also the major target's already down. So Witty dying like that, and at least Fabian able to find one back. This point, I think that Fnatic Onic PH are in
Baby,
a comfortable spot over.
ဘာမှလုံးမရအောင်ကြည့်အောင်ရ
Dying a couple more times, but this next neutral objective might
ပွဲချိန်၄မိနစ်အရင်ပွဲကတော့ဂိုးလေးမရှိပါဘူးเนาะဒီပွဲဂိုးလေးကပုံမှန်လေးပဲ Yeah, 1-1 အရင်ပွဲကဂိုးလေးကြီးကလုံလုံးတာပါ
Maybe even around if we're lucky.
အဲ့တော့ဘယ်လိုများလေးပြလဲမသိ
You
ဘူး
know, Kelra already having the Haas clause.
အဲ့တော့ share က crack ပြရမှာမသိ
Quad Shadow coming down as well.
No.
No Armored or no
Earth Shatter.
they're not gonna go for it.
Yeah,
ဘူး share ကအမမကန်ချင်ဘူး
too, but it's more so just again kind of limit testing each other. Battle spells being used up or not. Next objective is up here, and they're going to get in the zone here. They have to worry about Super Prince setting things up, but it's going to be started up too. King Kong holding it.
Brusco walking up as well. The Lantern Flare still on him. King Kong on the turtle. First of blood gonna be locked in onto King Kong.
Oh, sounds like a guy there, yeah. Brusco beat in there.
Again with the flanks. Fabian jumping back and forth. Not enough damage. Kelra is on a roll.
They split the fight into two.
Kelra သူ survive ကဖြစ်နေတော့
Kirk at 1 HP tries to knock up your Hezkill.
Rosa,
Shadow
ဘယ်မှာလဲ
Quad Shadow should be
နော်
able to find one
Kelra
for his
Kelra
own.
Kelra တီးဖေးပြီးKelra ရလိုက်
Split in half.
No, it's a chase. Super Prince chasing Fabian. He's waiting for the cooldown on the Quad Shadows. Brusco walks
Oh,
up and shuts him
sounds
down.
strong
And with that exchange, at least Fabian gets a couple kills, but FNOP gets a whole lot through that. Plus, taking the gold lead now in favor, almost 2,000. A 1-for-1 for the Turtles here, but some of these first items are going to be picked up now and locked in and start to show. Even for Super Prince, you know, already doing a great job at
King
setting up.
အော်ရှိကကြက်ကအကုန်လုံးကျိတ်တော့ပဲ space ကစယူနေပွဲချိန်9မိနစ်ပဲရှိသေးတယ် Jungle invade လုပ်တာရက်ဆက်တယ်
The advantage when it comes to those turtle fights, and even for Kelra to show up on that back line, pop the sprint and maneuver around, again, that's what TLID has to be wary of.
Exactly, about looking for these flank angles and not to necessarily be caught specifically by that Cursed Blood. It can get a little tough, especially when TLID start opening up that map, and Aaron Cheeky getting shoved and dove underneath turret. A Berserker's Fury for Kelra's. Just, again,
Fabian
dominating
Fabian
That's what you said about
Brusco,
it previously. The hydraulic press raging sandstorm.
Oh, sandstorm.
Aggressively
Oh, I like
from Brusco, and they get out of harm's way. You can see King Kong dominating this jungle matchup.
Fabian blue ball တွေတော့ရလိုက်တယ်နော်သူရဲ့
but
ကန်ကောင်းလို့
Kong's a level ahead on the alpha.
အဲ့ဒါပါဒီဘက်ကကျွေးလို့ရတော့
RWM already has skill
Oh.
over about the two from King Kong.
a breather, but now the Cursed Blood on all three of
So
them.
we'll feel switch out,
One
eh?
by one, all three
Sorry.
pulled underneath the
Oh.
turrets.
Yeah, his skill continuing the chase. Fabian
Oh.
takes it back, punishing FNOP's overextension.
An overextension, trying to set up under that tier 1 turret. Fabian having a great start again on this Hayabusa. He's had to work for it, but they're going to have to do something about Kelra here, because eventually that is going to be a kill. It's a damage check. He gets under half. They got to deal with him, Kirk.
Uh-oh. They've already got the Primal Wrath out. He's going to get dove under pretty quick.
Brusco's there.
Flicker out, Lantern Flare coming down as well. Now Kirk gonna be
Oh,
taken out as
nice.
well. It will be as Hezkill who picks up the kill and the turtle to TLID. So some way they're actually able to equalize that gold lead. No longer the big scary gold lead for FNOP.
All right, so where is the majority of the gold lead actually coming from? And I mean, looking at the gold lead, it's got to be Kelra, right? I think he's
Sounds
like
wrong.
2,000 ahead.
Nice.
On to Aaron Shiki. Hold on, the Quad Shadow's not going to do much there just yet, but even so, that's a majority of the damage from Fnatic Onyx PH. They got to play around him and let Kelra kind of do the work, because look at that damage check, 50% off of that one auto, well, plus the passive.
And he's just doing that to delay him on taking the buff.
Around chase. Conceal already from... Oh my lord! Wilderness Aran bursting through! Now the Rhapsody together with a Lantern Flare. Brusco is down. Out of nowhere, becomes a 2-for-1 for Liquid ID.
Oh no. Okay, Team Liquid ID are actually pulling this back now with the lead of their own. At the very least, Yehezkiel has a very stable pick. Let's look at the items and really start to compare, because wow, shocking lead for Kelra, but then there is compensation when it comes down to the jungle, compensation when it does also come down to the mid lane too.
And interestingly enough, as you know, as many kills as Fabian has on this Hayabusa, the fact that King Kong is not too far behind in essence against the economy here, that's fine for him, because that's what King Kong does on the alpha pick. It isn't to go and fight and fight and fight. It's really just go ahead and lock down some of the farm, and then later on, you know, you have some more of that tankiness on this alpha. You play around your setup potential, and you just let Kelra shine. And there it is. Skypiercer is actually going to be picked up already from Aaron Shiki.
He's going for a third item. I think he recognizes that Yehezkiel is giving him a lot of peel anyway. Same goes to Iran. They need those big finishers, which means I would assume that Fabian, he's going into these fights just to chunk.
And to be fair, the Juicing will go Skypiercer too, right? Like, that's the normal build we're seeing. And for Yehezkiel, does look like he's on the way for a second item, Skypiercer. So they'll have two. Now, is that a bit too greedy, or is that good, you know?
I think it's part of the answer is just get rid of Kelra. Whether it's either or, as long as you take Kelra out of the picture, then they lose a lot of that damage potential. And we'll see if that gamble is going to be worth it, because Team Liquid ID will start things up.
Crimson Beacon out.
Whoa!
Gabe, what happened? Claims a kill in the back. The assassination there on Shiki. So able to cut away with Detonata. Kelra chasing Aran down in the bush. Kelra walking with a heavy crossbar. Power of wildness. Aaron Shiki claims the kill. Brusco running back with a Raging Sandstorm. Baby with a chase again. And it will be a Lord traded in for a fight.
Oh my goodness, a fight well deserved by TLID. I mean, it might not be over just yet here. Let's give it a moment, because Aaron Shiki, it's great. The target acquisition in tandem with Fabian, making sure that Super Prince does not get that much value out of his RWM. Happens so fast.
Yeah.
And honestly, I got to give it to Witty. He's been finding like 2-man, 3-man Cursed Bloods at some critical moments.
Again, this Carmilla pick for Witty has worked for them in the past, even their whole journey up to this point in the grand final. And they're set up mid.
Alpha into the Earth Shadow. Witty still surviving. Shadow kill. It's going to be neutralized by the Primal Rat. Real manipulation! Let's go!
Kelra, he's running forward. He takes out one. Needs to back up. Dive underneath the turret. Nobody is safe. 3 flickers for 3 kills. Will pay that price.
It doesn't matter if they're behind in that form. They'll make a play either way. And they still have the Lord knocking on the base turrets now. FNOP sets things up. They might look for more.
They're hungry. They're so hungry. They want this inhibitor early on. They want to create that 13K lead they did in their previous series. Because Team Liquid ID, if they find that momentum back against Fnatic Onyx PH, they might be able to turn things around.
Holy moly.
When
you think they're ahead, someone else becomes the X factor. Game 1, 2, 3, I think it was Kelra all around. Now, Brusco from out of nowhere.
It's always one of them, and that's again why they have been called the Super Fam. Every single player, every single role in lane filled, and just perform at a peak here throughout the tournament and now through the grand final. It's TLID on the back foot now, trying to just defend even the buffs. King Kong put enough pressure, nearly level 15. Again, with this, Team Liquid ID still in fighting form, not a massive deficit to work against, but it gets increasingly more difficult when they approach these Lord fights because of that setup potential from FNOP.
Oh, but even so, at the end of the day, it really comes down just to hard execution, right? As much as Fnatic PH are able to kind of control this tempo, the execution for these are... Wait, hold on. All right. RWM has also been thrown out here, but I don't think they should be able to find anything.
With the isolated, you know, the Kendo! Spear of Alpha, he gets down!
with a fadeaway.
What a cancel! Never mind, I take it back. They do find one.
Sometimes you wonder, Kelra's jumping forward. Well, that's exactly why. So aggressive and making moves just now at this point.
How does he get a Renner's apathy on an Irithel?
I have no clue. I have no clue. But at this point, this Lord should be free, right?
They're going to start it up. Lord for the taking here. It's already taken. Kirk gets it.
Raging Sandstorm, Brusco. Gonna be taken down. Yehezki with the Sky Piercer stack. Crucible Blood into the back line. Super Prince not able to pop in the RWM just yet as Kelra jumps with the heavy crossbow. Power Wellness onto Kelra, but Aran gets deleted.
The peel is perfect. Kelra has the space, and Witty, as well as Aran, will not be able to create the opening that they were looking for.
And look at that, just as you think, he's so aggressive on this Irithel, able to jump in. Now he also gets some defense with a Wind of Nature pickup, able to deal with some of that pressure, physical damage that might be set up from even Fabian here. They work with this Lord at push now, taking the goal lead a little bit further. FNOP will get ready to march towards the base. They already got some work done on these turrets. And so Team Liquid Indonesia in a precarious situation on this defense. They have to be able to clear things out and keep things contained and together. They're going to rely on the setup potential and maybe even this Cursed Blood. Spear of Alpha won't land from King Kong.
It's a short cooldown, totally fine here, and I think the Team Liquid ID need to play this defensively. Sacrifice an inhibitor, sure, but this game needs to drag on because they're so close to their next item power spike. 39 to 43.
The siege continues. That's a quad channel to the back. King Kong with the Spear of Alpha baited out. The Primal Wrap from Kirk as well, though. 2 base turrets taken down. Now 1 more up top. Kelra sent to deal with it. A few more shots into the turret. It will survive for a bit. Kelra wants to go for it. Walks up a few more times. 1 more time. That Sonata keeps him at
Kelra?
Team Liquid ID wants to hold on.
Shadow get away by that.
Shadow kills Spear of Alpha, bringing it back again. The quad Shadow back from Fabian and the damage. RWM
Oh,
locking
he's
him
not
down
okay.
inside. It has to deal with the
Nice.
Crimson Beacon locking. Super
Kelra,
Prince
no,
up,
my,
down,
he
down,
went
down,
out
down,
here.
Aaron Shaky
Yo.
getting it, raging sense from Boost.
Ah.
In the base, looking for the end moment. Steel IDF clear out the wave, and Kelra will be able to escape, but King Kong have dealt with him.
Oh no, the minions are starting to push it. They're running out. It's one.
Thunder heralds their unstoppable reign. Unscathed,
Oh, like the hell.
unrivaled, their legends proclaimed. Bow down to the empire of Fnatic.
Anh lo có rồi đâu.
Philippines.
Axiata Arena, make some noise for your Heralds of Thunder.
Rồi, ba cái này mình chỗ mà. GG.
Let me hear you scream.
Their dominant run to the Philippines, and now their dominant run here in the M6 World Championship. We're all part of the fam now. Let's throw it on stage with our winners.
Ladies
So, good night.